There are places in this world where humans were never meant to survive. Mount Everest is one of them. At over 29,000 feet, the air is so thin that every breath feels like drowning. In the death zone, the body starts dying the moment it enters. And in this world of ice, storms, and silence, people vanish. Today, we journey into the heart of Everest's most chilling mysteries, the climbers who disappeared, and the questions that still haunt the mountain. Mount Everest has claimed over 340 lives since records began. The dangers are not just physical, they are psychological. At extreme altitudes, simple decisions become life or death calculations. A sudden blizzard can blind a climber in seconds. A hidden crevasse can swallow a person whole without a sound. Oxygen starvation erodes the mind, causing hallucinations, confusion, and false confidence. Some who set out to conquer the mountain are still up there today, frozen in time. Others were never seen again. It is one of mountaineering's greatest mysteries. In June 1924, George Mallory and Andrew Irvine made their final attempt to reach the summit of Everest. They carried early oxygen tanks, heavy and unreliable by today's standards. A fellow climber saw them through a telescope, high on the northeast ridge, moving steadily upwards. Then, clouds swallowed them. They never returned. For 75 years, their fate was unknown. Had they reached the summit first, decades before Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay? In 1999, a search expedition found Mallory's body, his arms outstretched, rope injuries around his waist, and a broken leg. In his pocket, a receipt from a shirt shop in London, but no camera and no sign of Andrew Irvine. Some believe that Irvine's body and their camera, containing possible summit photos, still lie hidden higher on the mountain, buried beneath the shifting snow. In 2024, a detached foot inside a boot and sock with AC. Irvine, on a name tape, was found emerging from the ice. The cameras remain missing, the mountain holding on to their final secret. But Mallory and Irvine were not the last to vanish into Everest's endless white. In 1996, a fierce blizzard swept Everest. Among those caught was Sewang Paljor, a member of the Indian Border Police expedition. As conditions worsened, Paljor and two teammates attempted to reach the summit. They were never seen alive again. Paljor's body, wearing bright green boots, was found in a limestone cave just off the main climbing route. For years, climbers seeking the summit would pass by his frozen form, a silent witness to their own mortality. They called the landmark simply Green Boots. But the story does not end there. In 2014, Green Boots seemingly disappeared. Some say he was buried under rocks by climbers trying to show respect. Others believe a rockfall hid his resting place. Either way, a new mystery was born. Where is Green Boots now? Sometimes it's not just nature that claims lives on Everest. Sometimes it's the mountain itself. In 1998, Frances Arsenteieff became the first American woman to summit Everest without supplemental oxygen. But the triumph was short-lived. Exhausted and disoriented, she and her husband were separated during the descent. Frances collapsed high above the world, weakened by the brutal conditions. Several climbers found her still alive, but were themselves too weak to help. She remained on the mountain, unable to move, unable to call for help. Climbers later described chilling encounters, hearing faint cries near the place where she fell. Over time, her body became a grim waypoint, known to some as Sleeping Beauty. In 2007, a team moved her body out of view, giving her a final rest away from the path of climbers. But her story still echoes on the mountain. In 1998, Frances Arsenteieff became the first American woman to summit Everest without supplemental oxygen. But the triumph was short-lived. Exhausted and disoriented, she and her husband were separated during the descent. Frances collapsed high above the world, weakened by the brutal conditions. Several climbers found her still alive, but were themselves too weak to help. She remained on the mountain, unable to move, unable to call for help. Climbers later described chilling encounters, hearing faint cries near the place where she fell. Over time, her body became a grim waypoint, known to some as Sleeping Beauty. In 2007, a team moved her body out of view, giving her a final rest away from the path of climbers. But her story still echoes on the mountain. At Everest's highest altitudes, reality bends. The lack of oxygen twists the mind. Climbers have reported seeing phantom figures or hearing guides calling them from cliffs that weren't there. Some become convinced they are safe and wander into nothingness. On Everest, it is not just the cold or the storms that kill, it is the betrayal of your own senses. Mount Everest stands eternal, a frozen monument to human ambition and tragedy. It is littered with the relics of those who dared and lost. Some bodies will be found again, emerging from melting ice. Others may never be seen, lost forever beneath the mountain's silent snows. Everest keeps their secrets well. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the unknown. If you found this story haunting, follow us for more forgotten histories. And remember, some places were never meant for us.